Welcome to aminacademy.com. In world history, let us discuss about Chalukyas dynasty. There were controversy about their origin. The first controversy, their original home of the Chalukyas was Ayodhya. Also, the later Chalukyan inscriptions lay claim to Ayodhya as their ancestral home. But all this seems to have been done to claim legitimacy and respectability. According to another opinion, the Chalukyas were related to Gurjaras, but there is no different evidence for this opinion also. Third one, the Chalukyas, according to third opinion, were a local Canaries people who improvised into the ruling Varna under the Brahminical influence. The third opinion seems to be more probable, though there is no sufficient evidence for this also. Let us see the chronological order. Chalukya dynasty ruled part of India from 500 to 1200 CE, very long period. The dynasty can be divided into three parts. Badami Chalukya dynasty ruled in southwest India from 540 to 753. Pulikeshin is considered the true founder of the empire. Pulikeshin II extended the dynasty's rule across the Deccan. Vengi or Eastern Chalukya dynasty ruled in the southeast from 642 to 1061 CE. The Eastern Chalukyas encouraged the Kannada language and literature, but later gave importance to Telugu. Kalyani or Western Chalukya dynasty ruled in southwest from 957 to 1200. The Western Chalukyas built temples in Badami and Aihole. Some notable rulers of the Chalukyas dynasty include Vikramaditya I expelled the Pallavas from Badami and restored order. Vikramaditya II conquered the traditional Tamil lands of the Pandyas, Cholas and Cheras. Vishnuvardhan II continued the expansion of the Chalukya kingdom. Vijayaditya I, a patron of the famous Telugu poet Nannaya Bhatta. Vishnuvardhana III patronized art and literature. Amma I, one of the last to rule of the Chalukyas, Vengi. The Chalukya dynasty was a classical Indian dynasty that ruled large part of the southern and central India between 6th to 12th centuries. During this period, they ruled as three related yet individual dynasties. The earliest dynasty, known as the Badami Chalukyas, ruled from Vadabi, modern Badami, from the middle of the 6th century. The Badami Chalukyas began to assert their independence at the decline of the Kadamba kingdom of Banavasi and rapidly rose to prominence during the reign of Pulikeshin II. After the death of Pulikeshin II, the Eastern Chalukyas became an independent kingdom in the Eastern Deccan. They ruled from Vengi until about the 11th century. In the Western Deccan, the rise of Rashtrakutas in the middle of the 8th century eclipsed the Chalukyas of Badamis before being reviewed by their descendants, the Western Chalukyas, in the late 10th century. These Western Chalukyas ruled from Kalyani, modern Basavakalyan, until in the end of 12th century. The rule of Chalukyas marks an important milestone in the history of South India and a golden age in the history of Karnataka. The political atmosphere in South India shifted from smaller kingdom to larger empires with the ascendancy of Badami Chalukyas. A southern India-based kingdom took control and consolidated the entire region between the Kaveri and the Narmada rivers. The rise of this empire saw the birth of efficient administration, overseas trade, on commerce and development of new style of architecture called Chalukyan architecture. Kannada literature, which had enjoyed royal support in the 9th century, Rashtrakuta court found eager patronage from the Western Chalukyas in the Jain and Veerashaiva traditions. In 11th century saw the patronage of Telugu literature under the Eastern Chalukyas. For the detail, Chalukya dynasty, either of two ancient Indian dynasties, the Western Chalukyas ruled as emperors in the Deccan, that is peninsular India, from 543 to 757 CE and gained from 975 to about 1189. The Eastern Chalukyas ruled in Vengi in eastern Andhra Pradesh state from about 624 to 1070. Pulikesian I, a petty chieftain of Pattadakal in the Bijapur district, whose reign began in 543, took and fortified the hill fort of Vatapi. The seized control of the territory between the Krishna and Tungabhadra rivers and the Western Ghats. After military successes farther north, his son Kirtivarman I reigned 566 to 597, secured the valuable Konkan coast. The family then turned its attention to the fertile coastal region to the northwest and east of the peninsula. Pulikesian II reigned 610 to 642, acquired parts of Gujarat and Malwa, and defined the North Indian ruler Harsha of Kannauj. The boundary between them was fixed on the Narmada river. About 624, Pulikesian II took the kingdom of Vengi from the Vishnu Kundins and gave it to his brother Kubiya Vishnuvardhana, the first Eastern Chalukya ruler. In 641 to 647, the Pallavas ravaged the Deccan and captured Vatabi, but the Chalukya family recovered by 655 and extended its power in Gujarat. By 660, they had acquired land in Nellore district. Vikramaditya I reigned 655 to 680, took Kanchipuram, ancient Kanchi, at the time of Pallava dynasty about 670. Another Chalukya ruler, Vikramaditya II, reigned 733 to 746, again captured but spared the city in 742. His successor, Kirtivarman II, was replaced by the Rashtrakuta dynasty in 757. When the last Rashtrakuta fell about 975, Taila founded the second Western Chalukya dynasty, named for the more central capital, Kalyani. His great achievements was to subdue the Paramara dynasty of Malwa. The Chola king Rajendra I invaded the South Deccan about 993, and repeated Chola invasion of the plateau occurred until about 1021. After many vicissitudes, the Chalukya dynasty was supplanted by the Kalachuri family under Bijala, who usurped the throne about 1156 and reigned until 1167. The Chalukya dynasty was restored in the person of Someshwara IV, who however lost the empire in 1189 to the Yadavas or Devagiri, the Hoysals of Dorasmadura, and the Kalkativas of Warangal, the rulers of the Telugu-speaking part of the Deccan. The descendants of Kubja Vishnuvardhana had to constantly fight for the riches of Vengi and were pawns in the struggle between the Chalukya Deccan emperors and the Chola kings. The Cholas eventually adopted the Chalukya family, and the two countries were united under Kulothunga first, that is Rajendra II, Kulothungan first, that is Rajendra II, whose reign began in 1070. Chalukya dynasty art and architecture. The Badami Chalukya period was a significant era of South Indian architecture. The rulers often referred to as Umapati Varlabh constructed numerous Shiva temples. Their architectural style is known as Chalukyan architecture or Karnataka Dravida architecture. They built almost 100 monuments, including both structural and rock-cut cave monuments in the modern Bagalkot districts of northern Karnataka. The subsequent Western Chalukyas made significant advancement in temple architecture in the Tungabhadra Krishna River Doab region, now in the Gadag districts of Karnataka. Their style is sometimes called the Gadag style. Due to the high number of temples they constructed in this era, besides temples, the Chalukyas architecture is also famous for its intricate step wells known as pushkarins used for rituals bathing. Many of these well-preserved wells can be found in Lakundi. This architectural advancement reflect the Chalukya dynasty dedications to art and their significant influence on South Indian cultural heritage. Chalukya dynasty's society. Chalukya dynasty followed the Hindu social system where Brahmins held special privileges as local experts and judges. Most Brahmins were involved in professions related to study and religion, although some excellent in martial arts. Record mentioning widows like Vinayavati and Vijayanka suggest that the practice of sati might not have been prevalent. The government recognized Devadasis who were present in shrines. The precursor to Bharatanatyam, stage Bharata's Natya Satra was well known and depicted their various statues and inscriptions. Women held significant position in society, with some royal family members taking on political roles in administrations. Among the notable women were the dancers and musicians like Kalachuris of Kalyani, Queen Shovala Devi, and Chalukya Queen Chandala Devi, known for their talent in dance and music. Diet varied, diet varied among social groups. Brahmins, Jains, Buddhists, and Shaivas followed a strict vegetarian diet, while others consumed various meats. Markets offered both domesticated meat like goat, sheep, pig, and poultry, and exotic meats from partridge, hare, windfowl, and boar. Entertainment including indoor activities like gambling, animal fights such as cock and ram fights, and wrestling contests, kusti. Horse racing was a popular outdoor pastime. Records indicate that clinics and schools were often constructed near temples, emphasizing the importance of education and healthcare in Chalukya society. Chalukya dynasty religions. Chalukya dynasty was primarily Vedic Hindu, constructing temples dedicated to various Hindu deities in places like Aihole, Pattadakal, and Mahakuta. Shaivism and Vaishnavism were particularly prominent among the Badami and Eastern Chalukyas. The Western Chalukyas followed Veerashaivism, a Hindu sect based on Shaivism, also known as Lingayitism. Vedic rules. Vedic rituals, including offering sacrifices and sacred vows, were integral to their religious practice. Hindu deities such as Vishnu, Shiva, Kartikeya, Ganapati, Shakti, Surya, and Sabda Matrikas, seven mothers, were commonly depicted in Chalukyas sculptures. The spirit of Adi Sankara Advaita doctrine in the 8th century contributed to the decline of Buddhism in South India. However, Jainism managed to maintain significant public support despite Buddhism's decline. Key educational centers for the Badami Chalukyas included Badami, Aihole, Putukoti, and Puligere, where both religious and secular education thrived. These religious and cultural practice reflect the Chalukyas dynasty's declination to Hinduism and their significant influence on the region's spiritual and educational landscape. Chalukyas dynasty decline. The Chalukya dynasty, established by Pulikeshian I, 543 to 566 CE, saw its peak and subsequent decline through various rulers and internal conflicts. Pulikeshian II, who succeeded Pulikeshian I, ruled over the entire Deccan, but his death led to a brief period of instability. Vikramaditya II, that is from 733 to 744 AD, led through the dynasty of its zenith. However, the kingdom began to decline during his reign. Next one, Kirtivarman II, the last prominent Chalukyas ruler, faced increasing challenges from the Pandya and Rashtrakuta dynasties by 753 AD. The Rashtrakuta ruler Dantidurga overknew Kirtivarman II, marking the end of the Badami Chalukyas. The dynasty then split into the Eastern Chalukyas of Vengi and the Western Chalukyas. The Eastern Chalukyas, under rulers like Jayashimha I and Kubja Vishnuvardhana, managed to maintain their kingdom. They formed alliances with the Rashtrakuta, preserving their autonomy until the Kalyani Chalukyas overthrew the Rashtrakutas in 973 AD. Eventually, the Vengi kingdom fell to the Chola dynasty. The Western Chalukyas, initially Rashtrakuta feudatories, continued to battle the Chola and Eastern Chalukyas for 200 years. They were superior to the Deccan ruling houses like the Hoysalas and the Suna Yadavas of Devagiri. The remnants of these conflicts formed the basis of rivalries that dominated Deccan history for over a century. Ultimately, the Western Chalukyas were defeated by the Hoysala Empire in the 12th century. This period of decline illustrates the complex interplay of power, alliances, and conflicts that shaped the Chalukyas dynasty history and its eventual fall. So far we discussed about Chalukya dynasty. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.